Thank you. All right. 3, 2, 1. Welcome, everybody, to Emotions and Shit. And today is a serious episode. Today we're talking about heartbreak. Now, you see, the thing about heartbreak is sometimes you can learn a lot from it, about yourself, about them, how you interact with people, all those wonderful things. We're gonna touch on some of those things, but at first, let me introduce everyone else. We have with the lady of the hour. Introduce yourself.
What's up, everybody? It's your girl Tay.
And with us, a returning regular, not a guest, a regular. Introduce yourself.
Hey, everybody. My name is Justin.
Oh, yeah. And today, we're going to talk about heartbreak. I'm going to go ahead and put someone on the spot. Tay, you're up.
Okay. Wait, we want to talk about the first heartbreak or?
Give me one that was meaningful to you. So first can work.
Okay. Goodness. I'll say, okay, I'll give you my first. Because it has a funny story because it comes full circle.
Mm-hmm.
I was head over heels for this guy in high school. I think it was my sophomore year, his freshman year.
Okay.
And I was in love as much as a 16-year-old can be in love. And we were together and things were great. And we made our friends sick. Excuse me. We made our friends sick with how affectionate we were. We wrote letters to each other and we rode the same bus. So, we had letters for each other when we got on the bus in the morning. We had letters when we finished school. Real cute. And then it was one of those rare situations where we had a full 2 weeks off of school for Christmas break. Mm-hmm. And we came back from school or back to school after Christmas and he gave me a letter. And that's how he broke up with me.
Oh, okay.
And it sucked only because, you're 16 years old. Everything in high school is the end of the world. So, but
yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, and I know why he broke up with me. Mm-hmm. As a 5-year-old woman looking back, because I was talking about marriage. We'd only been together for a couple of months. And I remember in the letter, he said, I think we're just looking for two different things. And it sucked. Like, I cried from first period all the way to when I got back home.
Oh, wow.
Like, the tears did not stop. It was because I was in love. I loved him so much. But like I said, now I understand. But the funny thing is, that guy is the best friend of the guy I'm dating now. So.
Oh. Okay.
Which is why I didn't date the guy that I'm dating now in high school, because I was his best friend and I didn't think that was a good look. But now this dude and I are super cool. He's married and, he'll come on my Facebook page and be like, he knows I love Steven Universe. He's like, oh, here, the soundtrack's coming out. Here's the link. I'm like, so we're friends now. It's all good. But I just remember my eyes being so swollen because I cried for 8 hours straight.
Oh my gosh. I have trouble staying awake for 8 hours straight. That's a wow.
Yeah, it sucked.
I don't have that problem.
Just tell me about when you're.
Oh, you broke up for a second. Say it again.
You're up, my man. Tell me about a moment you had heartbreak, something that changed your life.
Okay. So since you said since we brought up the one about the one that changed my life, we all know that I've been single probably about maybe it's close to 2 years now, and from the mother of my 5-year-old son, and we were together for the betterment of, I want to say 9 years. And yeah, it's about right at 9 years. And I went through everything with this woman. I mean, I'm talking about friends, family, tragedy around the house, layoffs from jobs, everything. I can honestly say we were there for each other for the first part, maybe 6 years of our relationship. I mean, we were everybody, just like Tay mentioned, everybody hated us. I mean, we were the goofy, lovey-dovey, never wanted to leave each other, always breaking your neck trying to get back to the other one's arms kind of couple. And then I think the crossroads came up when the subject of kids came up.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we both wanted them. I mean, she really, really wanted them. And so, she became pregnant with our son. And just as soon as, so even from a lot of the females that I know in my own family, they all say motherhood changes you. And I think that for the most part, I think she became extremely, extremely, extremely just bent on being the mother of the century, which I have no problem with. I just feel like I got left in the dust.
Mm.
Because I'm talking, she would go to all kind of church events, take him with her, and because she didn't have a job right after, for about the last 6 months that she was pregnant because she got laid off. So I was the only one working for about a year. So I would work maybe 50, 55 hours a week, and it just seems like the more I guess I wasn't present, the more I became not emotionally present for her.
Mm.
So I mean, Savion, like I said, he's got the best mom in the world. But so this being her first child, she attempted to so-called better herself, like a lot of people do, and they do it they do it to the max. So she became one of these extreme church people that went to church like 6, 7 times a week, and every little church event, function, picnic, guest speaking, or whatever, there she was. And me, I'm spiritual, but I'm not religious.
Makes sense. We actually.
Right. So, yeah. So go ahead.
Oh no, go ahead. Sorry.
Oh no. But yeah, I'm spiritual and I'm not religious. And I told her, I'm not the type to sit up in church and do all this praise be, hallelujah, and all this faking like everybody does in the church. My face will not allow me to fake it like that. Do I believe in God? Absolutely, but I don't need 50 people behind me and one little band screaming hallelujah right behind me. I can do it myself.
Oh no, I feel you. The reason, what I was going to say on that is, I was going to do a shameless plug because we actually have an episode we just put up the other day that is about being spiritual, not religious.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you both check it out. It just, when recording this episode, it was this morning, but when it comes out, it was a couple days ago.
I definitely want to hear that.
Oh yeah, it should be up. The reason I wanted to talk about the heartbreak thing, because I do love both their examples, is because I know with mine, I've only ever had heartbreak 1.5 times. I'll say 1.5.
All right.
I say a half time because there was no defining moment that my heart was broken on one of them. Not really. But the other time was absolutely devastating. And the part that made it devastating for me was because I realized that in that heartbreak, it wasn't her fault. Yeah. She split with me because of me.
Mm.
And for the longest, I thought, oh, she did this. And then I actually sat back and listened to what she had said, because she actually wrote me. She wrote me an old school letter, by the way.
What's an old school letter?
Like pen and paper. I'm gonna fold it up and give it to you.
Okay, okay.
And it explained why we split, whatever. And she has a line in there that I always remember. I think I told you earlier, Justin. I love you. I love you. And at first, that confused me and it bothered me, but I thought about it. She loves me, and you can love somebody for all these reasons, but some of the behavior they have can be detrimental to you to the point where they're not good for you.
Right.
And my one heartbreak. I won't say her name. I will say her cosplay name because that is how we talked and got down and dirty. Anyway, she'll never listen to this podcast. I called her Red Bell.
Okay.
Like Belle is in Beauty and the Beast.
Gotcha.
I did so. It started as a joke, actually. A little context. It was a joke because I didn't know what a red bone girl was, and she fits that description, but not really. Like, but I made a joke that she was beautiful, so she's Red Bell.
Goodness.
But the reason that heartbreak was big was because when I don't think you can actually have actual heartbreak without feeling some strong emotion towards somebody.
Right.
And I will tell you quick up and down that I don't fall in love with people. Nothing against people. I just don't. I can love you, but I don't fall in love with people. It's just not what I do. Not for any reason other than I just don't feel anybody that hard, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But this girl, I loved this girl in every way you could think of. Like, you know when you love somebody, you just stare at them and you don't say anything for like a long time?
Yeah.
That corny cartoon Disney love had that. And it bothered me because I knew it was corny Disney. She even said it, "Oh, you're staring at me. That's so cute."
Sorry about that.
Because she's the only person I ever met that was more sarcastic than me. If you think I'm hilarious, Belle was she had me in stitches 24/7. She never let me talk because I was always laughing. But anyway, that heartbreak when she left, she said, "I do love you. I do care about you, but I do not think that we can work because of these reasons." And at first, I made all the excuses in the world, like you always do when you're heartbroken. Of this is this, and you often put it all on yourself, or you put it all on them. Like, oh, but they did this and this and this, and they broke my heart. But now looking back, I realized something. If they really loved you and they split not because they wanted to, because they had to, you broke their heart too.
Right.
Because, yeah, afterwards she told me how heartbroken she was about everything. I didn't believe her for the longest. But then now, like, it took months and months, I realized, yeah, I did way more to her than she did to me. Like, I broke her way more than she broke me.
Mm-hmm.
It's because I was more self-absorbed back then. Like, I'll be honest, I am way better now than I was back in the day. I am the first to tell you.
I can say that about myself too.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Because it was bad. Looking back, I would not be friends with me back then.
Oh,
I wouldn't. That'd be the guy I would avoid. I was the guy that I warned women to stay away from. Not because he's like a womanizer or anything crazy like that, but he was that guy. I have an old phrase that mentions it. Real love is when you want somebody, not need somebody.
Right.
mm-hmm.
And old me wanted whoever I was with to need me, not want me.
Mm.
That's a problem. It took that heartbreak. It took her leaving pretty much in the night. Like, I'm talking in the night gone. Like, I just saw her one day and never saw her again. And
She snuck out. Okay.
yeah, pretty much. And when she left, I realized how much of an important part of my life she was. Like, I wouldn't have podcasted without her. She came with the whole format of this show. I recorded my first podcast with her. My website she designed, everything. We write stories together, make D&D board stuff. She was a big part of my life. And that heartbreak made me realize that a lot of the girlfriends that I've had, I've absorbed pieces of them. And when I split with them, I never got why they were so brokenhearted or messed up when the split. Because whenever I split with them, they would either try to get back with me or not, or stop doing things that we did together, like by themselves. And I never understood it until then. There are a lot of stuff that I do not do now because it's stuff that we did together, and I just would rather not.
Right.
Heartbreak can change your outlook on things. I have whole books over there that I won't pick up because of that one reason. It took my current lady, Yumi, it took her a lot of time and effort, and I appreciate her every day for it. It took her a lot of time and effort to get me to even open that idea book that we put together.
Yeah.
But because she was like a part of moving on, the positive part of heartbreak is you can reflect on it and learn something. You can, looking back to it, I bring up my ex a lot, not because I still miss her and things like that. I bring her up as a lesson that people need to look back at it and learn something. If you learn nothing from it, if you're not shaken up about it, if you haven't had a strong emotion toward that event in the past, then where you're really in love, where you're really heartbroken.
I agree.
Yeah, and see, I find it interesting that you're saying all this, considering what we were talking about offline with my dude,
Mm-hmm.
and how he's feeling right now because of what today was supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
And I completely agree. Like, heartbreak, it is one of those, it's one of those crossroads moments in your life where you can either let it push you forward or let it hold you back.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, I was in the same situation as Belle with my last boyfriend. You know, you and I have talked about it before, where I had to leave him because he wasn't ready to be nobody's husband. He continually showed me that, and it killed me to think that I was going to have to live my life without this person.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like, do I stay and wait for him to get ready, or do I go and hopefully find somebody who is?
True.
And I made that painful choice to end it, and I cried. I cried the minute I told him, listen, I love you with everything that I am, but we can't be together anymore. And, you know, for a while, it was like, you didn't give me a chance. I was changing. I did this for you. And, you know, all these other things. And I had to keep saying, it was like, no, this is why I left. And much like you, I guess the both of you, he's gotten to the point now, it's been over 3 years, but in the midst of those 3 years, he has seen what led to us splitting up.
Mm-hmm.
Like when we would have fights, or not fights, but arguments and things of that nature. Then he was, I'll tell you the story real quick. He was scrolling through Twitter one night. I want to say this was maybe about 1.5 years ago. And somebody had tweeted an article about gaslighting. And he read that article and then tagged me in a quoted tweet and then text me. And he said, "This is what I was doing to you every time we had an argument. I am so, so sorry."
Oh.
And I was like, okay. Like, he is a completely different person from what he was when we were together. But that's also, you know, the normal progression of life, really. You have to change, you have to learn, you have to grow. Especially like somebody in his case where he was 3 years ago. So he was like 26, 27 when we broke up.
Mm-hmm.
So, oh God, yeah, 27, because he'll be 30 next in November. But so once you get more life experience, you do start looking back. Hopefully most people would look back and be like, oh, I was a bit of a dick. All right.
Well, hopefully.
And see,
some people's maturation process takes way too long.
Right.
And see, I'm glad you said that because you mean sometimes ask me at times, she calls me pretty wise and whatnot. I'm good at giving advice. And, I give advice here and there to people. Well, the reason I'm good at relationship advice is when everything, fell through between me and Belle, I spent a long time thinking about it. And I realized, because I even tried to get back with her, like, your ex did. But then I realized the same thing. He realized that, you need to change and whatnot. And it was best, she told me that it was best that we don't try again, even though she wanted to, because not because I couldn't change, but because she could not change. And I didn't get that. I was like, but I'm the one supposed to change. He was like, no. We're both supposed to change.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I don't get it. It took me the longest to realize that. I'm supposed to change to the point where I didn't do those certain things again. And she had to change to the point where she wouldn't let someone do those things.
Right.
And
Now you get it right.
Exactly. And she said she loved me in such a way that even if I didn't change, she would try to make it work. And I was like, oh, well, that makes, then no, you shouldn't do that. Because we used to do this thing. Okay? We would always, whenever we asked for advice or anything together, we would ask, as me, as your significant other, or as your friend.
Ah.
And then we would think about it in those two separate roles.
That says a lot.
And that it's when it was different answers, it blew my mind. Because it would be completely different. Well, as your boyfriend, I would think that you should tell me, kind of sort of where you're going when you're out with your people or not. But as a friend, it'd be flipped like, well, no, you're an adult, so just like send him a message, generally where you're going, so he knows where you're at for like safety reasons. Just changing the perspective can change the entire advice.
Right.
And again, I know I'm trying to tie it back to the heartbreak thing. I learned so much. I think I learned an equal amount being with her than I did separate from her, because I was not a people person when I was with her. Like, I didn't like being around people. I picked one human and I stuck to that one human.
I was kind of like that.
Yeah, but when I split from her, it forced me to actually spend time with other people. And I realized a comfortable medium where I could spend time with people and without people.
Right.
And I also learned from the heartbreak what actually makes me happy. Because you're supposed to learn things. I think a heartbreak, you're supposed to learn things about yourself, because through every breakup and every heartbreak, you sit there and you think three things. What did I do wrong? What did they do wrong?
Mm-hmm.
And what's going to be different next time?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And those things are big things. I thought about all those things. I'm like, man, and it takes a lot for you to think about the first thing, what I did wrong, but in a realistic way. Because sometimes we pump it up like, oh, I should have done this more, I should have gave him this more. When in reality, you shouldn't have done that. Like, I know for a fact that she should not have come over here so late at night just to help me with one of my projects. Because especially when she had work in the morning, I let her come over here, but realistically, that's why she was so tired at work for like 2 weeks straight. But me being me, I didn't think about that. I didn't think about her, and I think that's a big factor. We sometimes in relationships, when we get comfortable, we think about ourselves more than anybody else.
Right.
That was well, I'm sorry, not because that was
No, go ahead.
That wasn't my problem. Was that I was too selfless, but I know that's just my nature. I mean, I'm the type to where I'll get all your little favorite things. I'll set them up and I'll do all of those things that you like without you telling me. I'll sacrifice something I love to give you something that you love.
True.
But I mean, mine where I knew it ended was the night I did propose to her, and she said yes. And within, I say, about an hour later, she comes back. I mean, well, she never left the house, but she had gone to the back and closed the door. So I'm assuming she's making phone calls and this, that, and the third. So she comes back up and says, she has a look on her face and says, I really don't like the ring. So, is it possible we could get another one and try again?
Oh man. Wow.
So,
Whoa.
I had to sit there and take that in for a second. I was like, what?
I'm not sure if I ever told. Jason, but so after getting sucker punched in the lungs, and and I was like, okay. And after mulling over for about a couple of weeks, we continued life around the house as normal, take care of the kid and go to work, come home, and blah, blah, blah. And one day, about 3 months later, we both sat down. We just like, it's not working. And she thinks I was not changing enough. I think she was trying to change me too much. But in any kind of situation like that, I try to be an adult about the situation. I'm like, okay, we're just going to split up, get separate houses or whatever. I'll stay with you and continue the bills until the lease is up around, I think, January at that time that it was.
Hmm.
And we will split. I do not want this to be messy. I'm not answering a million questions for your family. But I want to handle this in the most adult way possible. But the ring situation is what broke me.
Man.
Mm.
That's man. See, that's crushing to me. Cause like, again, it wasn't that big. Cause that's wow. That whew.
See, I knew what I had put into, but see, like I said, she had just been working again maybe about 3 months, and I knew what I had put in to save and get the ring that I gave her at the time. I had full intentions of getting upgrades, some years later, but it just turned out. I think that was just a sign from the God saying that this ain't gonna work.
Right.
Yeah.
And it took me about, I know, a good 8 to 9 months before I even thought about going out and touching anybody else. Not because I was just still head fast in love with it, because I think I had started falling out, but I had convinced myself enough to keep it going. Mm-hmm. It took me about a good 8 or 9 months before I even touched anybody else in a physical way.
I hear you. Because I was the same way after Bell. We split right after my birthday, 2 years ago.
Mm.
Oh no, I don't think I even breathed hard on a girl until at least the next year.
Right.
It was just to get, I guess, personal, I suppose. Look, I'm a high energy person, but we're gonna have a future episode about this because it's a wonderful topic. Mental illness in the Black community. We should definitely touch on that.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But minor depression hits me in a weird ways. It comes left field, pretty much, like with a lot of people. Mm-hmm. And I have weird protocols with said friends. Basically, if I tell you I'm in my blue period, like the comedian guy, whatever,
right.
Or the artist, whenever my blue period, that means whatever I say I want to do the opposite. Right. If I want to be by myself, don't let me be by myself. And things like that. Not because I'll do anything per se, but because when I want to be by myself and people actually are around me at that time, it does make me feel better.
Right.
Yeah.
And I came up with that with her, and I was, I helped her out with that. But for those few months after we split, those were some soul crushing months because I didn't want to be around anybody. Even one woman tried to cheer me up, and I was like, look, I'm not feeling this. You can stay, but I don't want to do it.
Oh, well.
Goodness.
And it was weird because, like, I had never loved anybody like that before. Mm-hmm. It was actual love, and I didn't really know how that worked. It was that love where you, like, when they're not there, you're looking up cool stuff, and you're like, man, I can't wait to tell them about this.
Right.
and like we had TV shows we watched together, movies we watched together. She watched. We had movies we watched together. We had a certain day that we always hung out on, no matter if we had work or whatnot. We at least saw each other somehow.
And you need that too.
Mm-hmm. And after we split with that, the heartbreaking thing, whatever, I was like, nope. I went a little overboard, as some people do. I made a list of all the shows I watched. I said, not watching any of these shows again. No one else is getting a weekly routine. Nobody. And oh, dude, it was bad. Like her favorite character was Harlequin, and I was like, Harlequin is banned from my house. Oh man, and I was weird. I was one of those weird dudes that like she left stuff here that was cool. So I either use it or if someone tried to touch it, like, no, you can't touch that. That hurts.
I think that's why I hate all hospital shows now. It's like fucking Grey's Anatomy.
I love it. Woo! But dude, heartbreak makes you crazy, man. People don't understand. It makes you act so differently, and you can't explain it.
I know, and the thing about it is that you're gonna have to deal with that pain eventually.
Yeah.
Whether you want to or not, but it's gonna get felt.
And see, look, and see, I mentioned the thing earlier because my dealing with emotional stuff like that is, look, I'm a sarcastic, joking person, but I have a certain demeanor and a voice when I'm giving advice. It's very serious and it's very stern. But when I don't like talking to people about my feelings or emotions because I'll put that voice on. Because Wonder Woman asked me, well, how do you feel about the whole situation? What did you get from it, whatnot? And I, with the most serious expression, I said, I learned the good and bad about myself. I'm probably gonna be alone for a pretty good while, but you know what? That's okay. It's part of life. And then I looked out the window like in a movie. And she waited for a punchline. I was like, and I looked at there is no punchline. That's what I was gonna say. And I turned back again. But that's what happens. Like you said, like you guys have both been saying, it's something that just happens. It's something. Heartbreak is a normal thing, and I personally believe that you cannot truly mature without having heartbreak. You can't.
Right. There's a song. Go ahead. Huh?
Go ahead.
Oh, there's a song that because one of the things I've been thinking about as I'm a woman of a certain age, thinking about having babies, wondering what I'm going to have to say to my own child when they go through their first heartbreak or whatever. And there's a song by Sia called Death by Chocolate.
I think I've heard of this.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite songs, and I wish I could find it on karaoke. I would sing it every single time. But it's basically it sounds like she's talking to a young girl who's had her first heartbreak. Right. And my favorite part of the song, well, there's two. My favorite part of the song is in the chorus where, hold on. Well, okay. Well, I'll give you my second favorite part first, since that's the one I can remember right now. She goes on, she's ad-libbing, and she sings, "He's but a falling leaf." And I love the image that conjures up because, and she sings about seasons. It's like spring will come after the winter, and, summer comes after fall. So when she sings, "He's but a falling leaf," it's like he'll be gone, but there will be other leaves that will come.
Yes.
I like that.
And that part that she sings before that is, oh goodness, why can't I think of anything right now?
Yeah,
I'm trying not to sing because it's late and I haven't warmed up. Oh, the one part, but it's okay. The one part I can remember right now, and it's funny because it's a Superman reference. She sings "Up, Up and Away."
Mm-hmm.
So it's yeah, okay, but yeah, she's like, "You will be strong, you'll carry on," up, up and away. It's not a lyric, but it's like you'll fly again. And I think that's one thing that we forget in the instant that our hearts are broken. Because I know, like, I think in my life, I've had 3 significant heartbreaks. I've told you about the one. And in that moment when it happens, you're just like, my world is over.
Mm-hmm.
I will never love another person. I'm going to build up all these walls and just protect myself because love is just not worth all this pain.
And it
But
never turns out that way. But go ahead.
not at all. Not at all. Because I'm pretty sure after what happened to my man 2 years ago, he didn't think that he was going to reconnect with somebody that he went to high school with who doesn't even live in the same state anymore.
Right.
Yeah.
Hey, y'all, please forgive me. This is my son's other grandmother calling me on FaceTime. I guess he wants to talk to me.
Do you think?
All right, and thanks, guys. Now we'll get back with y'all.
All right.
Oh.
Okay. All right.
Wait, what did he say?
I think his son's babysitter was calling him.
Okay. Well, we can wrap this one up then.
Okay.
But finish your story.
Oh, but yeah, and goodness, I'm glad we talked about this because, like I said, I know right now, going back to my boo, he's at work and he's dealing with this and he needs time. But I know just from a fact that since we're talking about heartbreak changing you and learning from it, one of the things that he told me when we got together and we started getting really serious, serious about being a couple. He told me, he begged me, he was like, please tell me if I screw up, tell me the instant I screw up. Don't hold on to it. Don't let it build up and let it come out later after when it gets to the point that I can't fix it.
Mm-hmm.
Because he told me that that's what his ex would do. And I'm like, are you ready for all that honesty? Because not that I'm an easily irritated person, but I know, especially with somebody like him who's told me that he hates confrontation. And I've had to tell him, well, confronting an issue isn't always yelling and screaming and knock down, drag them out fights. Confrontation can be as easy as, listen, babe, this is what's bothering me. When you do this, I feel this way. Let's see how we can fix this and move forward. And again, it's complicated because there's an ocean between us and it might change once we're face to face, finally, after 9 months. Well, 16 years and 9 months. But I know that we're both bringing, and you do that. You bring the lessons and the baggage from your former relationship into the new relationship.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that it's important to remember what happened in the past relationship.
True.
And try to not spin it, but try to remember it and apply it to the new relationship so that you have more positive experiences. Because I know something that I've caught myself doing is trying to protect myself from being hurt in the way that I was hurt in my former relationship. And that's a very delicate line that you have to walk. You have to be very careful about that because when you've experienced a significant, well, everybody goes through a significant heartbreak, but if you don't allow yourself time to heal from that heartbreak, you will make the new person pay for the mistakes of the other person.
See, I couldn't agree more. As much as I would like this, for a long time, I wanted to turn back the hands of time and do things differently. And I'll be honest, to a point, I do. I wish I could.
Right.
But still, that being said, I learned so much from it that I don't want to turn it back.
Right.
If I turned back and did a few things differently, I would still be that jerk off that I was before.
Right.
I would not have opened up. I would not have made new friends. None of those things would happen. I would have been the same old, me 2 or 3 years ago, and that's not good at all.
Right. I think the most positive thing I've learned from, I'll say, from my second most significant heartbreak, was that it forced me to look at myself and realize that I was very needy. I needed constant attention. Like, if I asked you if I could come and see you and you said you were busy, I would cry that entire night because I would think you just don't want to see me. I would completely lose myself. It's like if you said I was like the woman at the beginning of Coming to America. Oh, what books do you like to read? Whatever books you like that was me. And I learned after, because he and I broke up, and he broke up with me after 3 months, saying that he thought if he was going to fall in love with me, he would have done it by then. And then we ended up getting back together a year later. But he left after I started, because he got out of the Army and he went back to his home state of Massachusetts. And I was like, well, you're getting out of the Army, what's going to happen to us? And he's like, I think we should end things because I don't think we can get married because you're going to be a star. I'm like, I appreciate that you have that much faith in my talent, but and he was like, I don't want you to give up your dreams and end up resenting me for it. But once he left, about a month later, I started looking back and reminiscing about the relationship and everything, and realizing that I was very needy, and I was that woman who gave up her entire identity to be with somebody. And I started learning to love myself, to take care of myself, and realize that I don't have to be anything other than who I am to have somebody love me.
Yeah.
And it took a lot. It took a lot. But even in my relationship with the boyfriend after him, I found myself slipping into that a little bit, but I caught myself, and it was only strengthened further after I left the last boyfriend.
See, I like that. I do.
Yeah. So yeah, you're totally right. The heartbreak can change you, and you kind of have to make the choice to have it change you for the better.
It does. You do. You really have to make that choice, because people don't understand that, and that's an important factor when you think about all this stuff. Because the people just look at the love part, what they can do to change things or what they can do to alter situations. But what they don't realize is love and heartbreak are two sides of the same coin.
Right.
You can't have one without the risk of the other. Or if you love somebody, you have to understand there's a real possibility they can break your heart, or you can break theirs.
Right.
That's how it works, because love makes you vulnerable. You can't feel something without that vulnerability. And yeah, people are gonna take advantage of that. And if they take advantage of that, or you take advantage of them, and it leads to heartbreak, you learn something. Hopefully, you learn something and you get better. You grow stronger.
Yeah. And it's also important to not let it make you hard.
Yes.
To where you get to the point where you keep everyone out.
Yes, that almost got me. I'll be completely honest with you. I almost became hard online.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, it was bad.
Your ass. No, I'm kidding.
You said what?
I was like, good, because I'd have to whoop your ass. No, I'm good.
Good. I was close. I was very close. I don't honestly know what stopped me from being hard on life. I really don't know. It was just, I don't know. Something just stopped me from it. Anyway, let's spin out for this episode.
All right.
Tell me where they can find you.
All right. You can find me on Twitter at Grown Geek Girl. It's my Twitter handle. You can find me on YouTube. My channel is Grown Geek Girl. You can find me on Facebook on my Grown Geek Girl fan page. And you can also find me on Instagram. I know I need to get a separate Instagram for Grown Geek Girl. It's coming. But right now you can find me at Miss Tay 82. MSTAYE 82.
I love it. And you can find us on iTunes, Twitter, on iTunes, Podbean, and Google Play, all under the Comic Jaunt.
Mm-hmm.
And you can find us on Twitter at Comic Jaunt. That's COMICJAUNT. And this has been Emotions and Shit. Heartbreak and Triumph. That's a good name.
I like that.
We'll see y'all Wonder People later.
Take care, y'all.
So, quick